Good evening. I'm Epstein, and here we are on Wednesday, the 10th of April, 2024, with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up. And you could see it's a lot of red behind me everywhere we go. Not all the markets. Meta was in the green. Not anything here, but NVIDIA up $16. Energy's got a bid. Energy's got a bid because now we're getting credible threats that as early as tomorrow, we might see an attack on Israel by either Iran or Iran proxies. German Air has cut off flights to Tehran for tomorrow. I read that late in the day today. So there's some credible ideas out there that is going with it. Energies were down, and as soon as that rumor came out, whether it's rumor, fact, or whatever, away you went. Biden addressed it and said, we stand with Israel if they're attacked directly by Iran, watch out. And Israel said, you shoot a missile at us out of Iran, we will retaliate right away. And of course, plans are still going on for the invasion of Rafah. So far, there's nothing done there. Apparently, Hamas does not even have 40 prisoners they can turn over. So I don't know where the peace talks are going or not going. That is something there. But today was all about CPI, and tomorrow's going to be about PPI. Let's go to the bottom of this first. CPI ran hot in all these numbers. It was about a tenth bigger than the markets were looking for. So we had another month, now it's 3 in a row, where we've gotten that bump. Is it a runaway to the upside? No. Is it a bump? I think it still fits within what the Fed thinks. We'll find that out. Tomorrow morning, we get the European Central Bank monetary policy decision. Expect them to be very dovish. I don't think they'll make their cut tomorrow, but I do think they're setting you up for a June action. Jobless claims come out at 7:30, and we get the PPI. Now understand, PPI typically comes in milder than CPI. It doesn't include the variables of energy, shelter costs, and the like. So keep that, please, in the back of your mind. If it comes in moderate, it sort of offsets the CPI to a degree if it comes in moderate, and that will go into the math of the PCE that comes out, one of the Fed's favorite indices, on April 26th. So tomorrow is a very important day, but not like today. And you have to admit, I set you up that I told you today was going to be a big day with the CPI and treat it accordingly. I don't think I missed out on that for you in any manner. Now, when we look at IEO, the gas and the oil exploration, I'm still friendly in this chart. When you look at it, it's gone up. The pattern is still one of higher lows, higher highs. Now, should the market decide to get under 110.08, it goes into a neutral status. But barring that, it's still pointing its way higher. It's over the 18-day average of closes, which happens to be over the green line, the 100, and in gray, the 200-day average. And it's paying attention to the upper Bollinger Band resistance. So it's doing its job, but still in an uptrend. Slow stochastic, still embedded, so I do think the traders are looking at this and probably buying on the break until that is lost. In DKNG, well, I had said yesterday if the market gets now, be careful, you're starting to set up sell signals. Now if you get back under 44.48, you open the door up for 42.30. What do we have in the market? Well, you got to keep your eyes on it right here, but overall you got lower highs, lower lows in a downtrend. In the gasoline fund, market got a bid today, and I'm going to explain it again. If the war in the Mideast picks up and if Iran gets directly involved, all bets are off as to what happens with energy prices. If it's just another skirmish by one of their proxies or a group of them who says that Israel can't be attacked on many fronts at one time by the proxies, you don't know. Don't know what's going to happen right here, but I know Israel's on high alert, and the allies that they have, us included with them, we've all got our eyes on everything in the region. Doesn't mean something will happen, but everyone knows that everybody's looking. In XLF, the financial sector, well, it got hit today, and it should. If you take a look, you're going to see the housing stocks got hurt. Anything to do with interest rates, we're seeing rates climb. We saw the 10-year get through the 4 or 5 level. So is 5% the next number? It might be. If the PPI comes in hot? It will be, in my opinion. If it's moderate, not necessarily. Then you get a bounce from one area, moderation on the other. And that's what you're hearing from the people that still think rate cuts can happen in July especially. I'm still not in that camp. I'll stay with where I was. I heard some good arguments why it won't be September today. It's too close to the election. I'm not convinced that's the case at all. I can understand October, and there is no meeting then, but October is right in front of it, okay? But in September, I still think you're far enough away if the Fed saw the need to cut. Right now, there's no need to cut. I'm still in the camp that until we see the data come in to the point where the economy's in trouble, why would the Fed cut? Right now, everything's still pointing higher. In XLI, the industrial sector, lower highs, lower low, trend down, bias down, potentials here for 122.13. You'd have to get back up and over Monday's high in order to negate the downtrend. When we look at FCX, I'm still very much in the bull camp. In the metal markets, it's the place you want to be. All right, metals are the zone here. They're the place to be it the gold market, the copper market. Inflation, 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 and then fear in the Middle East. So if it's not the inflation, you got the other story. You got a double edge there. Lower highs, lower lows into the consumer discretionary. But if you've taken my enhanced Bollinger Band course, today's the first time you've hit the lower band and you're oversold. You should be taking money off the table if one were a short, the way that I teach that. In XHB, same thing in the housing. You went down to the lower band. You're oversold. So the moves came in down. Our work has been in the bear camp, and the market got there. Do I think that the home builders can still be fine and be creative and so on? Yes. But the shock of today has to wear off for a day or so, and it can wear off. If the PPI were to come in real weak tomorrow, it'd be off the bloom like that. Got to see what that report shows. Very important tomorrow. In the energy sector, I gave you the reasons for the bids that came in late. This market still has higher lows, higher highs, and it's embedded. That's bullish. And in the gold market, this is your first break away from the upper Bollinger Band. In my opinion, the market's going to be bought off the daily chart. The weekly chart actually needs to see a bigger break. You're still too close to the upper Bollinger Band, but certainly still in the bull camp. Silver had an outside day to the downside. All right, now, is it embedded? Well, both numbers were over 80 today. The day before, both were over 80 on Tuesday, and on Monday, they were over. So you have your embedded reading. You have an outside day down. Get much more of a break, and I think the pros will step in and buy. I think they'll bail if the red line closes under 79. Right now, that number's 88, and until that occurs, I think that's what they'll be looking at. In the copper market, I'm still in the bull camp. You have the embedded reading. You've backed off a little bit from the Bollinger Band, but not enough. I'd love to see a little bit bigger break here. Then we get to TLT, BND. They're all getting the heck beat out of them because these are the interest rates. So you've got to pay attention to that. When you look at the dollar, you're up to the 200-day average in the Bollinger Band and you're not embedded. It's the flip-flop. So you get up this high, what do I teach my clients? You take some money off the table. And I realize everybody's going to go, I got to own the dollar. Well, I happen to be one in the camp that thinks that we could go to 107 in the dollar and that the euro can go to parity. But I want to get through tomorrow's report with Ms. Lagarde and hear what she has to say because what she says will affect FXE, which is down to the lower Bollinger Band. And yes, that's where I think the pros, if they were short, and I don't see a reason to have come in short, but if they were, that's where I think they're doing some short covering in the market. So you put it all together, you try to come up with a game plan for yourself, and that's what I'm here to help you with. In the mornings, 9 o'clock in the morning to be specific, I start talking to you about 40 to 45 charts. We bring them up and we're reviewing markets that'll cover the energies, markets that are going to be on the interest rates, markets that are the currencies. So the spiders, the ETFs, then individual stocks. I'm always rotating from the NVIDIAs right on through there, the Amazons. This gives you an idea, but I'm always rotating these because as the market changes, I want to change with it. I want you to join me. It might give you ideas for trading during the day. I start off by covering what were the day's events so far at 9 in the morning, what reports came out, how's the market reviewing them, what is coming out between 9 and say 10, the last reports of the day typically. How do you get this? It's simple. You go to iraepstein.com, you go to the word research at the top, or you move your cursor to the top up here and give it a click. Pretty simple. I'm Ira Epstein. You have yourself a good day, and I'll talk to you all later in my other videos tonight, or see you first thing in the morning.